Willow, it was very well said by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. He said Willow's job here was to have a good match and lose, put Mercedes over. She ends up getting the victory due to the circumstances. Was Willow doing her job before the injury happened? Was this a good match?
Okay, so what happened here is Willow and Mercedes both got in the ring, and the crowd took over. They cheered the shit out of both of them for almost 5 minutes. They wanted this match. They knew this match was happening based off of the cards. They were blown away by Momo Kogo and Stephanie Vacquier. Don't get me wrong. Those two made a name for themselves tonight, but that's not what we're talking about right here. When we got to this match, the energy for this main event was palpable. And when they started locking up, it felt that way. The momentum was shifting. I felt like the audience knew how this was going, but they wanted to will Willow into a star in this night. So we got through this match, and this is Disney Princess Mercedes Moné, and you got Willow going through. Willow beat her ass hard. Like, with the point of this match being that Mercedes was going to win this, she was doing everything in her power to put these women over that she was in these matches with. So it was making Willow look like a powerhouse. So not only did Willow look like a powerhouse, she also won, which was, as we said, not the plan. But and we got to a point before this, where Sasha got on the top rope to perform attempting code red, but she could not get her footing, and she jumped to the floor to regain. When she jumped to the floor, she was not able to get back up on her own 2 feet. And that's what we know. So when she got back into the ring, she was able to get on her feet for one leg, take the powerbomb finish, which was Willow. I think it was Willow's finish normally. And then the ref, hitched. Then they went for it again. He did not hitch that time. And even though the audience booed the finish, they did not boo Willow. They were just very confused and concerned and knew that they had seen something that wasn't necessarily according to plan. There was a lot in there that when you're watching it, you had to unpack. You watch Willow smiling, celebrating, but obviously trying to figure out what she needs to do next. She doesn't want to leave the ring, but she kind of wants to leave the ring, but you know that she can't. It was confusing, but what she was able to do was recover, compose herself, and then have a speech afterwards that basically cemented her into some type of new potential star. And so I got a question for you.
Okay.
Going to lead into probably one of the most obnoxious graphics I've ever made. So prepare yourself for this.
Okay. Holy Lord, what have you done?
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Canva. I appreciate all your ability.
What is that?
Will Tony Khan book Willow as a top star this summer?
Look at that thing. I can't take my eyes off that. For the folks on YouTube, for the folks on YouTube, you can see it. For the folks on the podcast, we have what? Let's see. We have
the Walter Reed pyramid. We have the Walter Reed pyramid. That is the pyramid.
We have the shadow of Tony Khan looking over the referee, raising Willow's hand. Mercedes
he's looking over the horizon of his star and all that he sees.
Crazy.
We have
all right, but no, well, he should. And I'm hoping that he realizes he's been handed something very important here. Willow is over anyway.
He's been gifted something.
Yeah.
He's absolutely been gifted a champion
he should run with it.
In the making. The only question is, because it wasn't him that did it, is he going to hesitate with moving forward with the star because he didn't make her, even though he should have for the last 6 to 9 months, which is basically a criticism I have of him. And the way he's been booking is he has been playing fast and loose with house money with people he should be making stars way earlier. And the audience spoke tonight when she was in that ring before everything went to shit. They made it clear that they loved Willow Nightingale. And her being in the ring with Mercedes Moné was a big deal. So do you run with that? Do you go forward with that? Or do you say, oh, slow your roll, we're not going to go full bore with this because, it wasn't really the plan. and we got a lot of planned good plays.
Well,
What would you do?
I don't tear up all my plans for my women's division and just suddenly base it around Willow Nightingale. No, I mean, you do have a plan. You do have something you want to go into. But I think he would be crazy not to make the fact that this woman just defeated one of the top female stars and most famous female stars on planet Earth and just kind of downplay that. I think you play that up. And like, Willow, you can't beat her now on TV too much because she has a championship belt. Yeah.
You can't beat her at all.
Yeah. And well, I mean, you could like in tag matches or whatever, but they should do that judiciously as well. So, I mean, go with it. I mean, just say, all right, she's just defeated Mercedes Moné, and she can go on a run in AEW there and be successful. And you can even have a challenge for her at a challenger Forbidden Door, one of the heels at AEW, to challenge her there and put that match on it. And if you wanted to, I think they would be crazy not to. I just think that this is a way to make her a bigger deal than she already was. And she's already a big deal. The crowd loves her. She has a very natural charisma that comes through. It seems very genuine. And the crowd connects to that in a way that you don't get very often. And I think
she's their new Kylie Ray.
Yeah. I mean, that could work out. So I hope they do. I think Tony's smart enough to.
Babyface. Mega smiling babyface, happy. I hope so. There are promoters in this world that we know of that will spite this entire scenario and bury the star, Vince McMahon, because it wasn't their idea and not their plan. Yes.
Yeah, that was a flaming shark. Will Tony pull a Vince? Basically, is the question. No, I don't think. I think he's going to understand that this is something you're going to have. You get handed something like this, go with it. It doesn't. I don't think Tony feels like it always has to be his idea. Although I think he likes it when it is. But who doesn't, right? Yeah. So let's see. Now let's talk about how they got there. Willow defeated Momo Kogo, and I thought Momo did well in this. I think she's. I think Momo's pretty good. What's interesting is, she's one of the least protected members of her faction, but she's in there with Mayu Iwatani. She's with stars, and it's Mayu Iwatani. You got Hazuki, even geez. I mean, all of the stars that I'm trying to think of. There's been some movement around there, but Kaguma is in there with stars. So Momo sometimes is the one that has to eat the fall in the 6-person tag match or something like that. But one of my favorite things that they have done, I'm really happy about this. When they have brought women from stars over, they have brought different people. We're not seeing the same faces all the time. We've seen Azumi, we've seen Husky, we've seen Starlight, we've seen Natsupoi and Tam Nakano, of course.
It's been a real revolving door.
It has. And what it's doing is it's introducing these women, a bunch of them. It's not just a couple. They're starting to see that. And when they keep doing well, it just builds more credibility for Stardom, because you just think, well, this is a new Stardom wrestler coming in. Well, the other 6 have been pretty damn good. Why not this one? And I thought it was a good performance for her. I think it could help her. And what helps is that Momo speaks a little bit of English, so that definitely is help as well. She was supposed to do English commentary on the last pay-per-view there, but got hurt, and that's when Mariah May stepped in, did a great job. So happy for Momo. I think it was another face to introduce, and if they bring her back, I think the crowd will realize that she's worth taking seriously.
She was a tiny wrestler, and she was wrestling the David and Goliath match with
it's the same match. Riho does a match similar to that in AEW all the time.
I wanted to say it, I wasn't sure if just rapidly comparing it to Riho for frame of reference, but yes, it was. If you've seen Riho versus Nyla Rose, it was essentially the same match.
So I saw that one live here in it was in Cedar Park, Texas, not technically Austin. So and then Mercedes Moné defeated Stephanie Vaquero. How'd you think Stephanie did?
She looked great, man. She looked, holy moly, she has a look already. And sometimes when you don't know a wrestler, they come out with a look, and then there's nothing in the ring to back it up. That is not the case of what happened here. Stephanie Vaquero was ready, polished, fantastic. She is someone that has been put on the radar of American wrestling fans. There was a niche group of people that probably knew exactly who she was. I was not one of them. And she she has a bright future. As the Flaming Shark says, Stephanie in particular was impressive, but it's for later. This was a break the wall down level of entrance into
Nice.
American wrestling. It was tremendous. If you look at these pictures, Mercedes, I don't know if she was selling or what, but she was particularly impressed with that match afterwards. She was like, "Oh, that was something."
Sometimes you just feel it, don't you? You're just like, oh, there's chemistry here. I like this. We can do this every night. So, yeah. And Brad also felt Momo did amazing. The audience got behind her big time. And if she ended up beating Willow, the fans would have actually been okay.
The entire tournament completely over-delivered. They had 4 women who, and we've talked about this in the past, when you do we did it for the IWGP Women's title, the chase for the title and how they carried the title in the inaugural run makes that belt. And so they really do have to keep Willow incredibly strong, because that belt is going back to Mercedes at some point. And I would particularly like the idea if somebody took the belt off of Willow with Dastardly Means before she got to Mercedes, so that Mercedes doesn't get the chance to beat her.
Okay. Well, let's see some more of the comments here. Flaming Shark. Mercedes just randomly popping up like Jericho used to.